Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina, finally back after 3 weeks away from home. I have a new soap for review today. Before I show you that, let me go through the products that I took with me so you get a feel for what I was packing on my trip. I'm going to be using the same razor today. I took the Fatip Testina Gentile with me. This was an easy choice. It's sturdy, it shaves great, I love the razor, and if I were to lose it, it would not be like a terrible tragedy. So, excellent travel choice. That's what I'll be shaving with today. For the soaps, I took a piece of this, Le Savon de Volcan with me, which is the mint, and this is the one that's based on the donkey soap. I just cut off a small piece of the shave stick, just wrapped it in some wax paper, and took that with me as the other soap. But the primary soap that I took with me was the remainder of the Abate La Mattia Laureato. Now I'm going to show you guys something that many of you likely have never seen, certainly not in person. But there it is, an empty soap container. I'd given away so much of the soap. Of course I used it myself, but I'd given away so many samples that I realized that there was only just a bit left, probably enough for maybe 2 weeks of shaves. So I put that into my travel container. This is now completely gone. I had the Savon de Volcan, this mint scented soap based on the donkey's milk or ass milk, as my fallback soap. Excellent choices. I took my synthetic brush, easy travel choice. Gillette Silver Blue blades and 2 small bottles of aftershave, which were the Barrister Mann Classic based on Gillette Sun Up, and then some of the Mirsol Green. Very easy, very light travel setup. Worked out great. All right, for today's soap is going to be a new soap from the grooming department. And this is the Ambra. This is the vegan formula. I do have a tallow version as well in a different scent, which I'll be reviewing in a couple weeks, hopefully. Let me just show you what this looks like first, and then we'll talk about the scent. This initially looked quite hard to me, and the surface was completely slick, just really smooth. But in fact, actually, it's soft, and it has kind of a very similar feel, slightly thicker, maybe slightly denser than something like the Meissner Tremonia, the shave pastes. The scent, as you can see from the label, is listed as amber, mandarin, and passion fruit. There's also a strong note of incense in there. There's a sort of a base note of incense. A very nice, light, fruity scent with a bit of warmth from the amber, and then a very distinct, at least to me, a base note of the incense. Now, this is a extremely dense, rich soap. It reminds me of the Saponificio Varesino in terms of the number of ingredients in there. I'm going to just read you some of the standout ones so you can get a sense for just how rich this soap is. So it does contain coconut milk, cocoa butter, shea butter, some oat protein, safflower oil, kapuaku butter, jojoba oil, babasu oil, acacia Senegal gum, kaolin clay. So if you're not a big clay fan, well, just so you know, Abyssinian oil, grapeseed oil, candelilla wax, carnauba wax, chamomile extract, and sea buckthorn extract. So this is a very rich, dense soap. I have obviously pulled out some. Let me just put the lid back on so things don't go tumbling about. I'd actually gone through what I'd scooped out, so I just actually pressed some more into the loading bowl. It is definitely softer than I thought. When I first started scooping it out, I expected it to be a lot harder, but in fact, it's actually a very nice texture to it. Today's brush is going to be, the Rod Neep, the big old boar. So let me just go ahead and start getting this loaded, and we talk a little bit about the soap. It is a very, as I said, kind of a very dense, heavy, bit of an oily, waxy soap. So what I'm doing is loading with a dampish brush and really making sure I'm getting a good load on the brush. If you underload, I think you're going to end up just without a good lather. So I'm going to add a bit of water as I go. This is 100% a thirsty soap. You need to make sure you're using enough water when you build a lather with this soap. If you don't, it is, as I said, kind of an oily, dense, rich soap, and it really needs the water to build up a good lather. There you go. You can see that's already starting. I'm going to add a bit more water and just keep loading. There we go. Just some drops really in there. There you can see what's happening already. There we go. Now I think that's got to be enough. Oh yeah, plenty. Look at that, very nicely loaded. Now I'm going to add some water to the brush. I'm just dripping some onto the face of the brush. Get my face wet. And we'll go ahead and start building up a lather. Yeah, as soon as you start working the brush on your face, you can feel right away this is a very nice, beautiful, creamy, soft texture to the soap. If you still feel that is a little bit pasty, you can hear how heavy that is. And you can see I've sort of pulled some pieces up with it. That's the only downside of scooping some out into the lather container. Is I'm going to add a bit of water now. Again, just a few drops onto the brush. That's going to need a touch more water. Yeah, don't be afraid to use some water with the soap. If you underhydrate, I think you're going to end up with something which looks good, which doesn't feel right though. Just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, very, very nice. That feels very good. As you can see, even though it is a dense, rich soap, no issue building a lather. There we go. Scent strength on the soap is definitely strong. To me, it's got a bit of a heady feel to it. So the incense for me comes through pretty strongly, but the sort of the citrus tone is there as well and nicely balanced. All right, Fatip Testina Gentile. Today it is still going to be, I think, on the 4th or 5th shave, another Gillette Silver Blue. Becoming an ever bigger fan of those blades, I have to say. Now, my immediate first impression of the soap was, wow, that is incredibly slick, and that has persisted throughout the shaves. Very nice, kind of a friction-free, floaty feel to it. Two days of growth, last shaved on Friday morning. While I was traveling, I think I got out of one of the blades that took me, I think I got 10 days shaves out of one of those blades. Which was impressive and also kind of a big mistake. The humidity in Poland is much lower than here. And the way that the rooms are heated really did a number on my skin. And so I had some real irritation after that 10th shave. Right around the bottom of my neck. But until then, right until that last pass, it's just going so smooth, so easy. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful slick soap. Really, really nice. All right, rinse. I'm just going to add, I do this usually by holding the brush upside down actually. I tend to just drip a bit of water on the base, and then as you start to use it, that water will drip up towards the face of the brush. Really keep this lather hydrated is really key. There we go. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful slick soap. It's one of these soaps where you just look at the ingredient list and you think, well, either this is going to work out great or it's going to be unworkable, and it is in fact the former. It works out great. There we go. Pass number 2. All right, this is going to be the across the grain. Yeah, I had some pretty spectacular shaves while traveling, I have to say. Bit of extra time in the morning. And just had to work around, sort of how dry my skin was. Yeah, you see right there, it's just a little piece of soap. That is incredibly slick, very easy shave right there. No catching, no friction. And if you're wondering why I picked this razor to go with me, when I have a multitude of other really good razors to pick from, it's because this is a really good razor. Really works well for me. You know, perfect sort of mid spot between comfort and efficiency. Yeah, just very, very good. Easy choice for me. And in fact, to be honest, I didn't even really think about it. I just knew that's the razor that I'm taking. All right, across the grain pass done. God, yeah, the soap is really good. Beautiful, slick, just working out great. Okay, last pass. I don't think I'll have to load any more out of the bowl, but we'll see. Even with the relatively thin layer, because the soap is so slick, still getting a great shave out of it. Yeah, it's really kind of remarkable how many people are just continuing to pour their efforts into the wet shaving market and just working hard on producing soaps that not only are using somewhat exotic ingredients or an extensive ingredient list to try to make up for, you know, add some real slickness to the soap and a great scent and a good post shave, set themselves apart a little bit. Thank you. All right, let me just rinse my hands a little bit, do a bit of extra lather off the brush. All right, final pass. This will be the against the grain pass. Try to eliminate as much water so it doesn't drip down my arm. Futile effort, I know. Yeah, I don't, you know, really a very, very good trip overall. It's hard being away from home, obviously, but there's a lot to do. Colleagues and friends took fantastic care of me, as always. Really quite humbling in many ways. Yeah, I gotta watch it down there at the bottom line of my neck because my skin is still a little bit irritated and kind of, well, what I would call sort of thin or fragile as always. Not one of those guys with leather-like skin, that's for sure. I don't really have what I would say is sensitive skin, but definitely often a little bit irritated or easily inflamed, let's say. Whew, so easy. Okay, almost done. Really nice residual slickness on the soap as well. I tend really to try to avoid doing that, but there's definitely still enough slickness there that you can do that without too much worry. Yeah, so it was right along the line there, and so I'm going to leave that for the next, probably for the next week or so, and just really not overdo it. Trying to let that recover a little bit. All right, let's rinse. So my experience with the post shave on the soap, by the way, is interesting because, as you can maybe hear, when I rinse, to me, my skin feels both lubricated but also a little bit squeaky. So I'm going to dry off. It's like yeah, the post shave for me is interesting because it feels like I've really cleaned my face with a good soap, but I also have left behind this interesting thin, sort of very hydrating, slick layer to it. And what I have found is that actually my skin, while it may feel just a little bit tight now, in 30 minutes is going to feel really good. It's like the post shave effect kind of builds over time. Been really pretty happy with it. Now, to be fair, I'd say the first 3 or 4 shaves, what I could feel more was a bit more sort of the squeaky tightness in my skin, but I also have to recognize that my skin is in kind of a weird place right now. It's definitely still recovering from just how dry it was in Poland, and it's 100% still not good, but I've been really quite impressed with the post shave. As you can see, it feels a little bit tight, at least when you run your fingers over it, but it also feels strangely smooth and nicely hydrated. So kind of an interesting mix there on the post shave. All right, I'm going to finish the shave off today with another relatively strongly scented aftershave. It's going to be Le Grand Chypre from Barrister and Mann, which, although really not in the same scent family, well, actually kind of is a little bit. So a pretty good pairing. I will say, by the way, there's one thing about that bottle, it's kind of funny. I'll show you in just a moment. Oh yeah, this is actually a really nice scent pairing. Accidental, entirely accidental, but really quite nice. Oh yeah. Man, not bad. Not bad for a 5 or 6 day old blade. Yeah, that soap really helped. Yeah, what's interesting about this bottle is, and I hope you can see just how big the hole is in the regulator. So when you tip this, really comes pouring out. I have no idea what I just did with the lid, but it's here somewhere. Ah, I found it. Ha! There we go. All right, well, wow, okay. Not too shabby if I say so myself. Yeah, that soap, really pretty nice. Let's go ahead and just recap. Today's soap. vegan version of the soap base from the grooming department, the Ambra. As you can see, this is the amber, mandarin, and passion fruit with an undertone of incense. Let me just show you the soap again. This is 4 ounces of soap in a pretty large plastic tub. Of course, I'm not loading out of the tub, but if you are, definitely take advantage of the surface area. I think that's going to help you quite a bit when you're loading your brush. As I've said throughout the shave, this is really a wonderful soap. It is incredibly rich. It's a fatty, bit of an oily, waxy soap. You 100% need to really get a good load on your brush and make sure you're using enough water. But when you do build a lather, you're going to be rewarded with a beautiful, slick, really easy to use soap. Scent strength is really nice, quite strong. So if you like that scent, then I think you're going to be in great shape. Highly recommended. That soap has worked out very well for me. And hope you can see there, right there, overdid it just a little bit on the bottom. I'm really looking forward to using the tallow-based version of that as well, which is tallow and duck fat, I believe. So that's going to be a really interesting one to try out as well. Today's razor, just my trusty old Fatip Testina Gentile. Man, this razor just works out so well for me. Paired with the Gillette Silver Blue blade, it's just an excellent, excellent razor. Really like it. Thank God I have a second one sort of waiting in the wing, so in case anything happens to that, I can immediately fall back to the second one. If you are in the market for a new razor and you like something like the D89, or you have a bit too mild a razor but you want to jump up a little bit, that I still think is an excellent razor for most people. Today's brush, the beautiful Rod Neep Lignum Vitae Custom Boar. Ah, so good. And let's close it out with the Barrister and Mann Le Grand Chypre aftershave. This is another blade. This is another alcohol and witch hazel based aftershaves, and these things work out really, really well for me. Yeah, see, my skin is already starting to feel a little bit more supple, nicely hydrated. Very, very nice stuff. Well, let me end it right there. Thank you again so much for watching. It's great to be back, and hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend and looking forward to the week ahead. Thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate, of course, as always, all the comments and questions. Please keep those coming. You can post against this video or any previous video. And until next time, goodbye.